Right, hello and welcome Just a Family. This is giving you something to talk about, or just a live TV as I like to call it. As the title suggests, we want to give you something to talk about, whether that is hope in the dark, whether that is our experiences or our knowledge through our stories. Get inspired, get involved in the conversation. As always, if you would like to be a guest speaker, blogger, or if you would like to be a sponsor, reach out to us at justalivetv.com. Today, we're going to be talking about stop chasing and start living your life, which is a huge topic. I can't wait. I'm super excited for this episode. I'm your host, Melissa Krechler. Our sponsor today is Phoenix Identity. If you are caught up in what happened in the past or consumed with the what ifs of the future, you're really not living your life today. Go and join us for a clarity session and learn how to take your power back now so that you can start living and loving today. I'm going to hand it over to our guest speaker, Sarah. Sarah, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi, everyone. I am Sara Martinez, and I am a female business owner, passionate leader, and I'm the author of The Invisible Unicorn, Stop Chasing, Start Living. And that is really a big passion of mine. I, like many women, have wore many hats in my life, but right now I'm trying to stop chasing all of the things and just start living for the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And how many of us do that, right? We get so caught up, and this is why I love this episode, and the fact that you and I are talking about this is because wife, mother, whatever your role or title is, whether you're male or female, it doesn't matter. We get so caught up in the what ifs, and so many questions. I've spent, one of the most recent ones that I've heard is I've spent 21 years in this career. How am I supposed to start over again? I'm in my 40s or 50s or 60s or whatever that looks like. And it's like, but you're not living. You're not doing what's best for you. When we have kids, I have 4 kids and they're 8 to 20. I'm not going to spend 20 plus years focusing just on my kids and chasing the dream of, oh, I get to have fun when my kids are grown, or I get to, travel or retire. I have to wait for all these things. No, why am I not doing that today? Take my kids with me, leave them with a sitter. I don't, but take them with me, experience. We always put everything off and we have limited time.
Yeah, we truly do. And unfortunately, so much in our culture, we're always looking for the next thing. No matter what, we almost never, even if we do accomplish something, we almost never take the time to really celebrate that. And as you were saying, do things while you have the kids, celebrate that this is your time with them, because you do only have so many years with that, and find ways to make that work, but that's aligned with your core values. I think that so much in our society, we aren't focused on our individual core values and our individual desires. We each were put here for a unique purpose. And so if we're all just chasing the same thing, we're really missing out on why we're here and what we're here to do. And that's where I think there creates such disconnect in people, where we're not finding true joy in our lives because we're all just seeking what somebody told us that if we had it, we would be happy.
Yep. One of my favorite lessons to point out is I'll be happy when, and we talked about this on yesterday's episode too. So I'm just going to reiterate a little bit of that part is, I'll be happy when I lose 60 pounds. Why am I not happy now? Yesterday I never wear makeup, and yesterday I put makeup on for the first time in probably 3 years. And, my husband's like, I messaged my husband and I said, I feel like an idiot. And he's like, why? You look great. What are you talking about? And I'm like, because it's my normal, right? I went out of my comfort zone, and it's been something that's been coming up for me a lot lately is try something new, do something new, right? Embrace different things. And I felt great. Afterwards, I was like, oh, I feel great. I feel hot. I'm going to, drive and go pick up my kids. And I'm going to be like that, mom that's sitting in the car going, nah, just I don't care, right? When we focus on that dream and being happy when we get to that goal, we miss what's happening right now. We don't enjoy the journey. We don't enjoy the time that we have. We're constantly striving for something more. Now, I'm not saying don't strive or don't dream. I have 7 businesses, 4 kids, 6 cats, and a husband that's like a child. Love him. He's totally not, but I always say that because I think it's fun. But if I didn't go after my dreams and try new things, yeah, I'm going to fail. Yeah, I'm going to succeed. Yeah, but I'm going to have fun doing it. My husband and I just launched our my seventh business. And it's all dark humor and inappropriate content. And you know what? If it fails, it fails. If it does great, good. Right? Like, but we're trying something new. And if you don't get that opportunity to try something new and do new things, you might, it's pointless. And I'm going to let you speak on that before I go into my time issue problem.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, like you said, you have all these pieces of you, right? And all of those are important. And it doesn't mean don't set goals, don't take action, don't go for stuff, but make sure that whatever you're going for is aligned with your core value. So for you, businesses are clearly important to you. That's a core value of yours. You love to create these businesses and launch them and have those be available to the world. And for another person, they might love not having a business. They might love, right. And neither is wrong, because it just has to be aligned with you. And I think that that's where we really, again, find that disconnect, because we're chasing, and especially these days with social media, we're chasing that highlight reel, right? And that's, first off, not reality, but it also, if it has nothing to do with what we desire for our life, for our family. So for example, I RV full time with my family. We love it. It is aligned for us. We just actually came back to our home state just to visit with family and stuff. And we're like, yeah, nope, this is the life for us. We know it. It was reassuring of this is right for us. But if you are someone who just watched my social media and it inspired you, so you're like, oh, I want to do that, but you didn't check in with your core values or the needs of your family, and then you did it, you could really put yourself in the situation where you're really unhappy because it's not aligned with what you desire.
Yeah.
And I think that's really the key that's missing out, is that we, from the time we're young, we are told, well, you have to get good grades, you should do all these activities, go to a good college, do all, and again, it's not the right answer for everybody.
And stick it out. Like, I understand giving it a chance. We have to give everything a chance. But like, if my kids go to soccer, let's say my kids go to soccer, they want to play soccer. Yeah, let's sign up, go have some soccer time. If in a few weeks they don't like it, I'm not going to make them finish it. Like, yes, okay, I probably should. But at the same time, why are we forcing people to stick something out that's really not making us happy, right? I understand yours about, I moved to the country. We bought this beautiful property in the country, and it was stunning. The property itself was stunning, but I felt like a beautiful butterfly hidden in that. Like, I felt trapped, and we ended up moving back to our home province, and it wasn't right for us. The lifestyle wasn't right. The location wasn't right. And so we made that choice, but we put ourselves in a lot of issues being there in the first place. And because it just wasn't aligned. Yes, we did need to learn those lessons, which is, we had to go through the experience. But again, it's coming back to the limited amount of time. Most moms that I know will, whether you're working a 9 to 5, I loved my 9 to 5 because I went to work, I did my job, I left it there. That's what I loved about a 9 to 5. I left it there. My evenings and weekends were free. I could do whatever I wanted. It wasn't, oh, ring, ring, ring. Hey, Melissa, your business is doing this. We need to discuss it. Whatever that looks like, it was 9 to 5. That was it. I didn't have to worry about it. So I get where people are coming with that. Your lifestyle, your life as it is, needs to be what you want it to be, not what other people think it should be. Now add on to that the time frame. Most mothers that I know, I don't have the time. I don't have the time to do this. I don't have the time to do that. I am running 7 businesses, 4 kids, 2 don't live here. 2 are adults, so of course they don't live at home, but I have 4 children, 6 cats. I had 2 dogs. But I make time for me. I make time for me, whether that's 1 minute, whether that's 5 minutes, whether that's a full hour, whatever your capability is, you need to start making time every day to do something that you want to do.
And I'm so glad to see that this is starting to be talked about, because until probably the last couple of years, many, many decades, but I'm only so old, so I can't really speak to the previous decades. I didn't live it, so I can read about it, but I didn't live it. But we've been taught to just jam pack our schedules, even as kids. As a kid, I went to school, came home, changed real fast, maybe had a snack, went off to one of my sports, depending on the season, and then didn't get home till 9 o'clock. Did homework, on my breaks. And as adults, we continue to do the same thing. We jam pack our schedules with things that aren't important to us. We don't prioritize. And that's exactly like you said, we can find time in our schedule to do things for ourselves, but it has to become a priority. And we have to understand how that allows us to find the alignment in our life. My husband and I were just talking about this on our walk. And as we came back to our home state, we don't want to just get sucked back in. We get sucked into these lifestyles of whether it's in our work, in our business, whether it's with our kids, we get into this where our schedule's so full and there's so much noise. Years go by and we don't even realize that we've either done nothing for ourselves or we haven't given anything to our passions because we're just in this black hole of doing instead of being.
Yep. Talking about relationships, right? Stop chasing and start living. We get married, right? Or sorry, I'm gonna give the whole spiel here because we have a couple minutes for me to do that. When we're born, I'm Melissa. From the day I'm born, I'm Melissa. And then as I get older, depending on the scenario and which way you go, I became a mother first, and then I got married. But you become somebody's wife, and then I'm known as Mrs. Krechler. And then I'm known as his mom, her mom, his mom, her mom. And I lose who I am, right? From the day you're born to the day you die, the number one constant is going to be you, nobody else. Your kids will grow up and leave. Your partner will not always be there from day one or till the last day. You never know. So a lot of times what happens is you get into this relationship and it's honeymoon period, right? You're all focused on each other. Everything is, well, I love you. And what are you doing? And the 2-hour phone calls and the text messaging all the time and the date nights. And then you get married and have kids. And then it's like, bet. So what you need to do too is focus on that. If you're chasing, we're putting all the effort into the kids, or we're putting all the effort into our career, all the effort into our mortgage, all the effort into achieving our goals so we can retire. From the day you get married and have your honeymoon, and you get back from your honeymoon and you're having reality, whether you have a honeymoon or not, I didn't. You get back to reality, right? And then reality comes, and then it's again, mortgage, career, kids, school, all of the stuff that you have to get to until your kids are 18 and they all bugger off, right? I love mine, but they all bugger off. At that point, where's your relationship? Where is your relationship to yourself? Where is your relationship with your partner? The amount of divorces and separations once the kids leave the home, the amount of life crises that people have when their kids leave home, the amount of life crises when people retire is because you're not putting in the effort into living your life and making sure that your needs are met and fulfilled. That's where a lot of these life crises come into play, is you're chasing and not living.
Absolutely. And I think again, it's that cookie cutter life that we're told that we're supposed to live and do, and it's not. We don't address what we desire. I think even for many people, they get married and have kids because that's what you're supposed to do, right? Mm-hmm. And if you aren't married or you don't have kids and you're a 40-year-old woman, then you have people on you constantly of, well, when are you going to get married? I mean, at that, and again, it's just that cookie cutter. And I think it's so interesting. And this is an activity that if you're watching and you haven't done it before, I think it's really fun to dive into. Take a day or take some time to develop what your perfect day would look like and see if you can develop that. Because that was actually how this idea was born, was that my husband could not come up with what his perfect day would look like. And that was the light bulb of, why do you get up and go to work every day then? What are you working towards? Like, what what are you trying to, because he wasn't happy, you know, it wasn't that we were happy and that was why. It was like, oh, I already have my perfect life. No, but he couldn't even come up with what his perfect day would look like because he didn't know his core values. He didn't know who he was on a deep level. And so it's interesting when we sit down with that, if we can really determine what does our perfect day and our perfect life look like. And I use perfect loosely, right? Like we all know perfection is not an actual thing. But if you could design your life, what would it look like? And are you able to really do that and look at it and say, okay, is this aligned, or am I just like, you know, because some of us, we might be like, okay, well, I'm going to go to Fiji and, you know, I'm just going to travel every single day. But that might still not be aligned with your core values if you're just going extravagant, but it's taking time to really go inward with who you are, who Melissa is, who Sara is, who you are, what you value in life. And when you're however many years old and you're getting to the end of your life, when you look back, you know that you really lived your purpose and you didn't just chase something because somebody else said, well, if you have this, then, you know, you'll be happy or you'll be successful, or, you know, whatever the word is that you're chasing.
Yep. I have a goal to travel Europe and the UK, and I want to go to Scotland and Ireland and Italy and everything in between. And I want to spend like a month or two just traveling Europe. But it's not a priority. It's not, you know, that's not my end goal or my end result. It's something I'd love to do, but if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't, right? My business coach, because I was working with my own coach, and she said, what does your perfect day look like? And she started that conversation, and I'm like, I like to work with clients during the day. I like to do my show in the afternoons, and then I have the rest of the afternoon to be creative, the rest of the evening to be creative. We, you know, sit down and have dinner, and then we watch TV for the rest of the night. Whatever that looks like, that's I'm happy with that. I enjoy it. That's kind of, I'd like to get out more often. Since the pandemic, we don't go out as often. We, you know, my oldest daughter and I went to a movie the other day for the first time in years. I don't think I'd been to a movie since 2018. And so, you know, and then we're going to another one next weekend. So experiences, you know, people ask, why did you start your business? And there's many reasons why I started my business. One, I have knowledge that is priceless and needs to be shared. Two, you know, I was going through a time with my kid that showed me again that I had knowledge to share, and I wanted to change people's life. My husband, I told him the other day, I want to create a legacy. I want to be like Freud, like Oprah, who, you know, when I'm gone, or even when I'm older and can't really do much, I want people still to be learning what I'm talking about and putting that into their everyday life. And then add on to that, I want the experience. I want the quads. I want the fast car. I want the beach house, whatever that. I want those experiences. And if I don't work towards those experiences, I'm not going to get them. And so it's that priority, right? What is your passion? Why are you doing what it is that you're doing? You don't want to do something just, oh, hey, I want the money. That doesn't work, right? My newest business is inappropriate products. I'm not going to get into that yet. If you want to know, just message me. But it's humor, right? It's something that my husband and I find humorous. I can actually give you guys one right now. My son helped me design one today, my 20-year-old. And on the front of the sweater, it's got a duck. And all of my animals look really mean and nasty. It's just a regular duck, but it looks angry. And on the back of the sweater, it says, my inner child doesn't like you. So, you know, just random, inappropriate, nasty comments. But it's fun for me. And, you know, whether people like it or whether they don't like it, there's going to be a handful that do and a handful that don't. So for anybody thinking of creating a business, do it for the right reasons. And that's your reasons. If you want to RV and travel, do it for the right reasons like Sara did, because that's what her family thrived on. I'm gonna hand it over to you.
Yeah, and it really comes down to knowing yourself. And so many of us don't. Just because I wrote a book on this and talk about this doesn't mean that I know it all, and I still have to revisit it. We have to revisit our values frequently, because in different seasons, our values are going to look different. Family connection when our kids are young is going to look really different. That may be the top core value when they're really young. When they become teenagers, your core value may still have family in the top 5, but you may have something else that's in there. Maybe adventure or freedom is more of your core values. And so we always have to revisit our core values, and we have to know ourselves. And even when you're starting a business, as you said, start it for the right reasons, and know that the reason why businesses are successful are when people step into their authentic being and they are creating from their unique self. Whether, even if you're doing something that is a part of an industry, so let's just use the coaching industry as an example. Sure, maybe you want to be a coach, but know that you have to be you in that, so that you attract the people that need to learn from you. Because again, you are here to share that knowledge with a specific set of people. And if you try to be somebody else, first off, you can't be anybody else. We can only be us, but it's not going to feel good, and you're not going to attract the right people. So it's hard. Like, I don't want to say it's easy. Getting to know ourselves when we have been conditioned for so many years, it's not something that happens overnight. It takes years, but it takes creating awareness around it and who you are, what feels good, what feels aligned. And if you're not really sure how to tell if something is aligned for you, one tool that I personally use is called human design, which a lot of people know about. It's starting to really take off. A few years ago, I shouldn't say nobody knew what human design was, but it was not, astrology was more popular. So with human design, for each person, there are some clues to help you know when you're out of alignment. You also may just know clues for yourself that show you that you're out of alignment. But again, it takes taking some time that's quiet. If we constantly have noise going on, you're not even going to recognize that something's out of alignment, because you're not connecting with yourself and your true being.
Exactly. All right. Well, we are getting close to that time. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we get going, or anything about, stopping chasing and starting living?
So my passion for this topic, I shared a little bit of how it became, but my passion for this topic is really that I've seen so many. I'm a woman. I relate mostly to women being that, but I think that it can relate across the board. I see so many of us doing things in our life that we talked about makeup. So it's funny, yesterday was the first time I put makeup on in a very long time as well. And I have some on today, but I did it because I was inspired to do it, not because society says that I have to wear makeup in order to look a certain way. And for many years, that was hard for me. I have a big scar on my face, which you can't really see with the makeup on, but I have a decent scar on my face. And so many of us, we're told that we have to wear makeup, we have to dress a certain way, we have to do all these things in order to be taken seriously. And I just don't think that's true. I think that the way that somebody looks does not distinguish their value or their worth in this world. And if you love to dress up, dress up. But if you don't, that's okay too. If you love to wear makeup, wear makeup. If you don't, that's okay too. And I really started to, when I went on this journey of realizing how much I didn't know myself and what I valued, I literally looked at everything I was spending time on and decided whether or not it was aligned with my core values, whether it made sense to me, and then stop doing the things that didn't make sense to me. And again, it's going to change. It's going to change all the time. But my passion is really, like I said, just creating that space for yourself to know you, because when you know you, you get to share with the world what you're here to share with. And that is why we have as many people on the planet as we do, to create change and that ripple effect of positivity.
Yep, absolutely. And if anybody has issues or doesn't know where to start with identifying who you are, Phoenix Identity, our sponsor today, which just happens to be my baby. I'm all about finding out who you are, honoring yourself, living your truth, everything to do with you as a unique individual, and finding the ways that you can start living and loving your life your way, right? Not what grandma says or your aunts and uncles or your parents, you, even your kids. Mom, don't dress like that. I don't care. right? It's you need to start living authentically for yourself. And when you're chasing the what ifs, when you're chasing the I'll be happy when you're chasing that version of you that just isn't here yet, while all that's great, you're missing out on the today. You're missing out on the here and now, on the little experiences that make life worth living, right? Looking at worms with your kids, watching the sunset, watching, enjoying a thunderstorm, whatever it may be. Enjoy those moments because we don't get those back, and limited amount of time. So, all right. Well, thank you so much, Sara, for joining me today. If anybody would like to connect with Sara, please do so. Links in the description of this episode. I'm going to hand it over to you to say goodbye.
Thank you all so much. And I hope that you truly find a space in your life where you can stop chasing and start living.
Absolutely. All right. That is it for today. I wish all of you a wonderful afternoon, morning, or evening, depending on when or where you're watching. If you are watching live or catching the replay, get involved. If you want to see a topic featured, please reach out to us at justalivetv.com or across our social media. We're always looking for guest speakers, bloggers, and of course, sponsors. So go and check that out. I'm your host, Melissa Krechler. I hope you all, again, have an amazing day, and I will talk to you on the next episode. Love you. Bye.